So then I says to the girl, where'd Justin go? Anyway, welcome to NerdProQuo's Let's Talk About Shit, the show where we talk about shit. Today's topic, Hi.
Hi. The bear's feeling better.
Okay. Today I'm joined by Carolyn, and we're going to talk about Under Night in Birth EXC Late. For those of you who don't know what that is, you're a person. It's a brand new fighting game. It's made by people who you don't know. French bread. They made Melty Blood, which is another fighting game you don't know about. But it's catching on in the fighting game community. But it's also sort of catching on with this interesting debate about whether or not the character designs are progressive. For those of you who don't know and don't follow fighting games, fighting game character designs kind of blow goats. That's a technical term?
That is exactly what the scholars say.
Yes. Everybody is a hyper stereotype, hyper racial stereotype. I mean, think about Dalzim. Hyper sexualized stereotype if you're a woman. Ivy, Cammy and her incredible something that she wears. And I mean, like, it's no big lie. They're over sexualized. They're eye candy. You know, we've all been here. And Under Night in Birth has these designs, which some people, and in fact the character designers attempted, but some people say are more progressive than most. And for those of you who don't know what the roster is, we'll put a link in the doobly-doo. It'll just be to, like, the Under Night wiki. But they tried to make characters that would wear something that a person would wear, supposedly. So you see some characters wear hoodies, some characters wear, like, full-length dresses. You see a lot fewer improbably short skirts, except for the guest characters, but we're not talking about those. And so, being that I am a dude, and I usually like to defer, yes, I'm fairly certain about that. I usually like to defer to women about what may or may not be insulting or overly stereotyping women. And so, our bear has a face now.
The bear always had a face, Angelo. That is really, really offensive.
There you go.
Silencing bear.
You're a fucking bear.
Where did you come from?
It's my camera. I'm always here. I'm in the camera when I'm not on it.
Can we talk about feminism, maybe?
Sure.
Right. So anyway, I would like to know, what you think of the game and I'll fill in the character names because I
don't actually. He showed me the game, but I haven't actually. I haven't actually played the game, so I can't really talk about. The game mechanics because I haven't tried it yet. I can say that I don't understand most of it because it's still in Japanese.
Comes out 2015. Get your import copy today.
So there are certain things that about the character designs that were better. Certainly, the schoolgirl.
Lina. Okay.
Was not in like an outfit that was super sexualized. I will say her short shorts were still
quite short.
Short shorts.
Yeah.
But she wears a hoodie. I think some of the outfits are better.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm not really sure that that's enough to really call it progressive. So, earlier we actually talked about Korra, and my husband talked about the problems he had with the politics. One of the things that is good about Korra is the character design, especially the female character design. And a lot of that has to do less with what they are wearing, but how they carry themselves. So the Lina, who was not supposed to be sexualized, still in the opening sequence, when you see that you've selected her, has this pose where her butt's sticking out and she's looking over her shoulder.
Yeah, she's supposed to be in the game's story a sort of cold, like Monster Hunter style character. So.
And a lot of those positions that we see women in, still appear in this game.
Yeah, she's also like 14, so like...
Right,
yeah.
I'm not sure how comfortable I am with a 14-year-old's... Whatever. And that's not to say that I condemn the game or have anything to say about the game itself or the gameplay. I'd have to play it first before I can actually review it on that level. But in terms of whether or not these are feminist portrayals, I do have to say no. Because the women still carry themselves in disempowered ways. Their toes are turned in a lot, which is an unbalanced stance. They still walk and move in ways that do not really give off the impression of strength. And they also move in ways that are, sexualized in their own way. I'm not necessarily one to say that we have to put boobs away. I'm not necessarily one to say that we have to have characters be not sexualized. But if your goal was to dim the lights...
Yeah, thank you for that, Justin.
My hand slipped! My hand slipped! Fuck you, get your own camera.
Go on.
Bear's watching you.
If
their goal was really to make the designs more progressive, they sort of did a very superficial, they like this much of a job. It really, if you're really looking at designing female characters in a more progressive way, first of all, have a bunch of different kinds of female characters. And have a bunch of different... Start with a personality and then build from there. Mm-hmm. So again, I return to the character designs of Korra. You have characters like Lin Bei Fong. You have characters like Korra, and the way they stand is very different than, say, the way even Asami stands. And that's okay, because you have female characters as people. Mm-hmm. Being portrayed as unique individuals and strong individuals.
Yeah, the stance thing actually was interesting to me because I never really looked at it that way, and when I went back, you see Waldstein who dumps across the...
Right.
Even the main character Hyde walks confidently across the stage. Gordeau walks with his hands in his pocket. Every guy character walks confidently somehow.
Right. Even the nonchalance is a confidence. Sticking your hands in your pockets, that's showing that you're too cool to care. None of the women do that.
But yeah, no, all the women cross their legs as they walk or do stuff like that. They don't seem as awesome. And I guess I never really looked at that before. And so now I look for characters with wider, more martial arts-esque stances. And that's just a way I never looked at it. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so, I'm going to touch on one thing because we don't have very much time left. As crazy as this sounds, there are things in the game Skullgirls, which is super sexualized.
Well, actually, I think we should do another episode on that.
Oh.
Yeah, that would probably
Stay
be
tuned
good.
for my opinion.
Stay dumb.
I played this game, I have opinions about
it! Next time we talk about a girl with pins and a giant fan sticking out of her back.
That is a thing.
That's actually a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Justin, come back here! Turn off the camera! Turn off the camera! Turn off the camera! Oh god! Oh, this actually
Be
wasn't...
sure to subscribe!
Yeah.